I was asked to do a video about death, transformation, and rebirth. So, for me, the way that I gave death to so many things in my life was because I got tired of the things that I kept seeing in my daily life, the way I was being treated by the people that I loved the most, and the results I was getting out of that because the common denominator was me. So, I decided to give endings to everything that no longer served me. And by doing so, I chose to live. Because by the way that I was living before, I wasn't really living. It was like I was in a point where do you want to live or not type of scenario. And I was living my life in a way before for other people to please what they wanted out of me, and I kept neglecting myself. So when I finally had enough and I chose to do something different for myself, when I chose to honor myself, that meant that I would have to let go of anything that no longer served me. And it started with the people that I loved the most. And so I had to deprogram from what society expects from us, what religious says that we are supposed to do. And so for me, I was too much in the light, let's say. I was so naive, um, so kind, nurturing, loving, caring, that I was perceived as being stupid. So people would take advantage of me, and I kept looking at them as a reflection of, like, I wanted them to be a reflection of me, to reciprocate what I gave to them, but that never happened. And it was year after year after year, decades of me being what I wanted people to be for me, but I wasn't being that to myself. I was being it for other people, but I wasn't being that to myself. And I noticed that the more pain I got, the more these people would rejoice in it. And the more help I needed, the less they were willing to help. It was as though if they wanted to destroy me. And when I was down, instead of lifting me or supporting me, they kicked me harder. And sometimes they did it to my face, but most of the time they were doing it behind the scenes where I couldn't even see it, right? And so those people for me were the people that were supposed to be closest to me, the people that are supposed to uplift you, that are supposed to protect you, provide, nurture you, your family. So I had to let them go because for me it was life or death. Like, do I want to live or do I not want to live? And although I had my children, and I have my children, it wasn't about them. It was about, do I want to live or not? So I detached from everything that no longer served me. And I started by dealing with the people in my life that were causing more pain instead of giving me joy. So for me, I used to think that, like, the way that I love, the way that I carry myself, it was like a weakness. To be kind was a weakness. In reality, I've come to realize that that's my strength. The fact that that I was able to keep my love. That although so many bad things happened, I was able to maintain a good heart posture. Posture, yeah, that's how you said. Yeah, my heart was still good. It was in good standing. I held no hatred for anybody. Although I didn't want to deal with these people, I held no hatred for them. And it wasn't just family. It was fake friends, fake everything. It was all fake. So I had to remove it from my reality. And that was hard because it's a very lonely road, you know? But once I did that, I gave a signal to the universe, to the Most High God, that I was choosing myself, that I was choosing to love myself, and that I wanted something different. And with that, I decided to remove myself and also heal at the same time, right? So I continued my therapy. I continued to do the work to maintain a good heart posture and also to not go crazy. And because I knew the people that I was dealing with, I already knew like what was going to happen next, because it had been decades of the same exact patterns of slandering of my name, of smear campaigns and all that good stuff. I wasn't aware of the practices that they held, but I was aware of how they carry themselves. So I decided to own like the things that I did, right? So yes, I was in active addiction. I did that. Moving on. Yes, I wasn't so celibate at that time. Moving on, right? Like I was able to balance that out by accepting it and living in my truth. So once that came around, it was like, well, I already went through that. What is it you want to do? Like, I'm good. And by doing so, I was able to put in boundaries, right? And I was able to identify the techniques that they were using before it came along and not give it a reaction. So while they were out here slandering and doing all types of evil shit, I was working on myself because my heart needed to be as light as a feather, right? So in doing so, I learned how to balance my light and dark side, right? Because I was so kind and nice, people thought that, I didn't have a dark side, but I do. I just don't go into it because who wants to see me in my shadow, right? So I did that. I was balancing myself out. And by doing so and forgiving it all, that led to a transformation, right? And while I did that, I was also breaking generational curses that I didn't know I was doing. And by doing so, I was able to wake up my bloodline, like my ancestral bloodline, which is the reason why, in the Most High God, the reason why I'm still alive today. And so I went through a death to the old self, right? I went through a transformation by owning my truth and living in my truth, right? I was able to give birth to a new version of myself in where those things from the past no longer affect me at an emotional or spiritual level, because I'm no longer that person. I have evolved and I have nothing to hide because I'm living in my truth. And when we do that, people get upset. But that's not our problem. Well, I just wanted to come out here because I was asked to share about death, transformation, and rebirth, and how to overcome certain things. And the way to do that is to live your truth, to be authentically yourself. And sometimes that means letting go of certain things, such as people, places, and things. And sometimes those people, places, and things are the people that we care about the most, but sometimes they don't reflect that back to us. And when they don't do that, that's just what they mean. They don't care. And if they did, they would have behaved a little differently. But that's not your case. That's not your problem. There are people out there that will come along and be genuine, be authentic, be caring, be loving, and kind. And you don't have to turn into anything that you're not just because somebody portrays a picture of you that you're not. And so I gotta go because